Did they just throw the basketball at the guy riding the skateboard?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Why did they throw the basketball at the dude's legs? They could kill somebody.
This is for millennials! Hi, I'm Josiah, and I love worship music.
And I'm Kyle, and I hate it.
And these are worship music reviews. For worship music reviews, we listen to a popular worship song and then give our perspective on the quality of the song from an optimistic
and pessimistic
perspective.
The Berean test was created by Vince Wright to measure theological depth and clarity of worship song. Songs are identified as milk or meat, simple or complex, and quality is listed on a scale of 1 to 10, as well as whether you should use it in a worship service or not. Welcome to Worship Music Reviews. Today, we're listening to This Is Living by Hillsong Young and Free. Once again, we're going through a few categories. Musicality, how good does this sound? Lyricality, are these lyrics thoughtful, artful, or clever? And theologicality, does this song have rich theological lessons on the Bible, who we are, who God is, and what life is about? Let's play the song.
I haven't listened to this version. We'll see what I think about this. Got kind of like a little opening here for the music video with some like... This is 10 years ago, so this is like millennials. They're like reaching out to the millennial generation.
This is designed. I mean, the font they're using for all of these words is also the Nike font.
Yeah,
basically.
It is the Nike font.
So like they're really trying to appeal to me, who like is a Nike kid.
The messaging here is like, I'm with all my friends. We're really attractive and beautiful in the city. Like boxing,
a skateboarder. Oh yeah, they're in a. Oh my god, they're in a box. They're in a light box like a Korean music video.
This guy's so cool. I'm gonna die.
Basketball. Here we have. That guy did not know how to dribble.
Now, is there a reason why they're hiding the people's faces? You notice that, like, usually, like, their head is sideways, or...
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's supposed to be that this is for everybody. Like, everybody, you could be this person. You too could dribble a basketball this poorly? Okay, I gotta point out, too, that, like, there's these dudes playing sports and skateboarding, and these girls are shopping, and I'm like, come on, man! Like, what do we think about men and women here? Man. Like, what's next for these women? Are they gonna have, like, brunch on a Saturday morning with, like, margaritas?
They're gonna play, what is that, pinball?
There's air hockey, you're almost there.
Yeah. These people really seem to like parking decks.
They do.
And bowling. Alright.
Yep.
Did they just throw the basketball at the guy riding the skateboard?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Why did they throw the basketball at the dude's legs? They could kill somebody. There's like the one Asian dude I've seen in this whole music video.
Well, here we go.
The girl blowing a bubble.
Oh my gosh. How is this the song that I wanted to listen to that I don't know how I feel about it, and now I feel even worse about it? Layers,
dude,
Kyle.
Okay. So initial reactions to this song, we had a lot of reactions as we watched this video, but
my initial hot take is just, I'm shocked by how blatantly, okay, it's hard because we're watching the music video. We're not just listening to the music. I have never seen this music video. How blatantly the music video is like, this is for millennials! And they're trying to be like, what would a millennial like? And then let's do that. So they're going to be skateboarding and shopping and bowling. And it's like those Christian movies where they try to put every single thing in all of life that needs to be talked about in one movie, because that's their one shot. So it was like the music video of all music videos. They're just like, every single thing that you can do that's fun in a city with friends who are attractive and cool, let's do all of it. And this is living now. And the hard thing too is it almost clashes with like the point of the song of like living now as being like following God. Cause it's like, is living now hanging out with your friends? Like, I don't know. Okay.
Man, like, the Hillsong Young and Free movement, like, I'm not totally an expert of worship music, but when this type of genre of worship music came out, I was like, oh my god, like, what are we doing? Okay, like, I am ultimately for us trying to do a different variety of song and genre. I'm down for us to try and experiment. I'm down for us to go to new avenues. And we had some, like, discount Swedish House Mafia vibes going on here with the like dance energy.
How many discounts are we talking about? I mean, it's good production value. Like I don't know. You're right. It's Temu version, but it's good Temu version as far as that.
Yeah. You downloaded Swedish House Mafia off LimeWire in 2007, or like I've worked with somebody. I've done a lot of video production, and you need to find like. You're going to try and do a genre of movie or feel or vibe, but you can't use the official song because you don't have copyright.
Yes.
You don't have copyright. So like I want to make a Bond movie, but I can't use like Adele's Skyfall. And I can't use James Bond themes. So you search a royalty-free library to find those genre you're looking for.
Type beat. It's a Skrillex type beat. Yeah.
Yes. This is a Swedish House Mafia type beat. And then we've come up with that. And the thing I cannot get over with this music video, and this is also why we watched the music video too, because I think it's actually important. Like, it kind of shows some of the vibe of what they're trying to do.
To say, yeah.
And like the way that like, okay, yeah, the dudes are boxing and skateboarding and playing basketball, and the girls are like shopping, and that's it. Like, I don't know if there was ever a shot of like solo women groups hanging out. They were just shopping. And then every other time was a mixed group, and they were like celebrating a birthday. They were bowling. They were at an arcade. That's what living now is. And again, like, as you were saying, like, what are we actually conveying when we sing this song and we do this stuff?
Let's see. Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Living is living with you. I've made my decision. It kind of feels a little bit, okay. So I want to be a little bit careful because as a songwriter, there's a part of the back of my head that says, I know that some of the songs that I write, someone could probably rip to shreds from all sorts of perspectives. So I don't want to go too deep in that perspective, but I can't help myself. So this is a little bit feels like you told AI to write a song, a positive song about life that doesn't say anything. And it's like, okay. And it does that. Cause it's like, life is for living with you. I've made my decision. It's like, it's statements that cause it's kind of like quintessential, like tight beat pop where it's not saying a specific thing, but it is kind of saying a lot of things all at once. I don't know.
Okay, you know what? That's actually great because if you are familiar with pop music, right? In the early 2000s, late 90s era, the kings of pop and like the late 80s, the kings of pop in America were all produced by Swedish producers.
Yeah.
Right? Like Britney Spears and like Oops, I Did It Again and like Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way. All and like in the 80s, like Aha, right? Like they're all like
Max
Swedish,
Martin, baby.
Yeah, and they're great. Like the songs are great, but they mean like nothing. They mean nothing.
Actually,
or they mean like they're just the emotional vibe. That's what they mean, right?
No, that's the point. So like Max Martin, when Britney Spears went into that studio session to make that song, for those who aren't aware, Max Martin is the second most successful songwriter in the history of music, only behind Paul McCartney. So he beat John Lennon, he beat out every other songwriter. It's just, Max Martin is the most successful songwriter.
Look up his lyrics or like his song list, and you'll be like, oh my god, like there's so many good songs.
It's wild. But so Britney Spears got in the session with him, and he was like, I need you to say it more like you have a country accent. And she was like, what? And he was like, say it more country. And she'd be like, oh, baby, baby. He'd be like, more country. Until she's like, baby, baby. He was like, all right, we got it. Because for him, he says, people who've worked with him say he cares very little, if not at all, about any lyric. It's all about exactly what you said. Does it sound interesting? And does it make an emotional feeling? But as far as communicating lyrics, zero interest.
Right. So, okay, let me pull up I Want It That Way now, and I'm going to look up the lyrics for that because the lyrics for this are so funny because it doesn't make any sense. You are my fire, the one desire. Believe me when I say I want it that way, but we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. It makes no sense. It's like, okay, like, but the vibes are right. Like if you've been in a relationship where you're like, man, I really love this person, and why are we like breaking apart? Like, how come?
Tell me why.
Conflict?
Tell me why.
The lyrics make no sense. And I think walking up knowing there's a reason, all my dreams come alive. Life is living for you. I've made my decision. Like, it's basically like,
it's like the same thing.
Like, there's that lyric about like, was it something about color? Oh, black and white to color, turn to color all around.
Yeah.
Like what? Like it's like kind of like that. Okay, amazing. So Hillsong Young and Free is to Backstreet Boys as Brooke Fraser's is to like Sting.
Yeah,
because Sting is pop.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you. Or like whoever wrote like Goodness of God with Jen Johnson? I forget his name. He's not even a singer, but he's written like all the worship songs that came out in that top like charted in the past few years. You know what I'm talking about? Right. Like there's that dude he's like the Max Martin of worship music.
Written by Ed Cash, Ben Fielding, Jason Ingram, Brian Johnson, and Jen Johnson.
Yeah, so Cash and Ingram, I'd say together, they kind of have like that Max Martin-y vibe in the sense that they're behind a ton of the big worship music, but they generally aren't the ones singing it.
Okay, so we've talked about the lyrics. What about the theological depth here? I mean, we've already said it's sort of meaningless, but like let's try and be as generous as possible. Let's try.
What they're trying to say is that life without God is meaningless. Life with God is actually the life we were meant to live. It's meaningful. It's full of wonder. It's full of excitement. It's full of interest. And everybody should want that life because it's the life we were meant to live. That's what they're trying to say.
Yeah. I'm like, my emotional reaction to that is like, Jeez, man. Like, I don't think they're getting that across at all. But cool, yes. Like life with God, Christ is the best. It's worth living. It is the only real way to live, and everything. Like I think the goal of black and white turn to color all around is we were living in a movie that was black and white, and suddenly now we're in technicolor, right? This is a whole new world. A place I never knew, a wondrous place, whatever, from Aladdin. It's like, that's what they're trying to do. Like, I can show you the world. This is the song, except it's a Christian version. Man, this is a drastic failure to do that.
Okay, so have you ever heard of chasing the rhyme? So in songwriting, chasing the rhyme is where you get a group write together, and people are like, okay, so the first word here is before. What rhymes with before? Soar. Okay, let's do a line that ends with soar. What ends with soar? Door. Let's do a line that ends with door. What rhymes with door? More. And it's almost always perfect rhymes. And there's only so many perfect rhymes, and so it creates very cliche stuff if you chase the rhyme. So this is a perfect example. You take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more. It's all perfect rhymes. There's no subtractive rhymes, family rhymes. It's all like just the most obvious rhyme you could think of, and just tack them all together and then find words to fit there. It's woo. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and as a poet and a spoken word artist, like when you do that, right, there has to be more impact. Like the reason that in poetry that rhyme is important is twofold. It helps you remember, because door, soar is easier to remember than door and, hinge or like entryway. Yeah. Door and entryway, harder to remember. But door and soar is easier, right? Door and fly is harder to remember. And the other is to place emphasis on the word and to convey extra additional meaning, right? So you're supposed to say, like, your rhyme should rhyme because it's memorable. So you want people to remember that. If I was to say, oh, like today there's a bright sun in the sky, decay is all I see by and by, right? Like it's like, okay, like, ooh, like the today, decay, by and by, and sky, right? It's like, oh, there's a contrast here between what it looks like on the outside, but inside I'm feeling horrible. And like, is that the best lyric I've ever written in my life? Absolutely not. But it creates more meaning because it has that contrast, and it draws emphasis on the contrast, because you're expecting, what you're actually like mentally expecting is soar, door, more. And like, so when it changes the pattern and you're like, oh, like that's unexpected, or like the word is like devastating, then it feels important. And this accomplishes none of that. It's just cool.
Well, so there's a book, a famous writing book called Writing Better Lyrics by Pat Pattison. It's kind of like the Bible of like Nashville songwriting. And I'm not a Nashville songwriter, but I know that people like swear by this book. But in it, he says, if I remember correctly, the first idea that you have is usually a bad one. And so you kind of want to dig beneath that into the next rhyme. So the first rhyme that comes to mind is usually the one that everyone's going to be expecting. And there are so many rhymes and perfect rhymes that will do a good job in communicating ideas. But it's like, if you pick the first one every single time, then it ends up making something that everyone feels like, it makes it feel more like Timu type beat. And I'm getting some of that vibe here.
Well, I know what we recently connected to by using some of the like AI, like songwriters to try and like just experiment with like what that looks like. And like, honestly, like, so for my Dungeons and Dragons podcast, you can check it out at Thy Staff of Power. If you check that out, the opening episode contains an AI worship song I've written as if the AI worship song was being led in a D&D fantasy world. And honestly, nice. I think the lyrics are basically the same, if not better. They're like the same. Let me see if I can find it too, because like I might even be
Please,
like,
I want to hear it. Let me defend Hillsong Young and Free for a second, just while we're thinking about this. So you brought up a really good point, which was the Backstreet Boys and that whole era and all that stuff. They are going for like lightweight bubblegum pop here, fun to sing, fun to listen to. And so, because if you actually listen to, say, an NSYNC song or a Backstreet Boys song, there's a reason why it's so lowest common denominator, simple rhymes, simple words, just kind of because they're trying to be like, how can we create a song that a 7-year-old will appreciate, that anybody can listen to, because they're going for big market. And so in this case, there's a reason why this song has 42 million views on YouTube. And it's because of like, it's young youth group kids, preteen kids. It's people who haven't had haven't figured out their musical taste yet in some cases. And so when they listen to it, they're like, oh, this makes me feel good. And is that bad? I mean, maybe not, but it's still, I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the the thing that makes me actually seriously upset about it is because, like, what is Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys' goal? To sell records, right? And to, like, make money and to be as popular as possible, which is great. Yeah. Like, that's awesome. Like, cool. Do what you need to do. And, like, I love Backstreet Boys. I love Britney Spears. Like, like, that's great. I'm so down. But, like, as Christians, is that our goal? Or is our goal to sell hundreds of albums? Is our goal to, like, get young kids to just be, like, bopping to your song? Like, no, the goal is to praise God.
But Kyle, here's a question. Do you think that this song might have been in the vein of, like, we need a song so that young kids won't go listen to Swedish House Mafia? Like, do you think that it's one of those things? Because, like, I remember growing up in the era where, like, I don't want to throw these bands under the bus because some of them are fantastic bands, but, you know, like Reliant K, Switchfoot, those are probably the best examples. But then Thousand Foot Krutch, others, there were all of these kind of, like, Hawk Nelson, that's a good example. Like, these rock bands that were sort of the market that they kind of found at some point was, like, all the parents that were like, you can't listen to that music, and the kids were like, but it's Christian. And then suddenly the parents were like, okay. And so that was sort of the market. Do you think that this is almost like the 2010s version of that, where they're trying to give a style of music that wasn't available to the Christian market, kind of in a worship rapping?
Okay, that's actually a great question, because I'm literally doing this with the podcast I mentioned. I'm going to play that song really quick soon. But, like, I'm doing this with the podcast I mentioned because I'm creating a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. And there's a lot of them out there. There's hundreds. But the thing that's not out there is a Dungeons and Dragons Christian podcast, right? And so I'm doing it.
By the way, it's hilarious. The parts that I've seen of it were fantastic. You guys have a really good, like, group.
5 minutes of it that you watched, amazing, right?
All 5 minutes were phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay, but yes. But like, this is the thing that, like, I debate, right? But I think the thing that I've seen, and the thing that the value of Reliant K, Switchfoot, Hawk Nelson, these groups, or, like, even, like, listening to, like, rap, like Lecrae, who we were in here, Andy Mineo, these types of guys. Like, one, I think for me as a teenager, right, it allowed me to feel like my faith wasn't, like, irrelevant. It allowed me to say that my faith actually, and these things are not opposed. It gave me justification to, like exist in some ways, like, in terms of people who liked this genre of music and saw it. And it, like helped me compute in my head that Christianity and my life were not incompatible. And I think that's extremely valuable, right? And it was also like, hey, like, it was a way to where, like, I took my friends, we all went to a metal concert, and half the bands are Christian metal bands and half of them weren't. Yeah. Right? And we're mosh pitting and shoving each other and, like, doing a wall of death. I love the wall of death. Yeah. When we were doing these things, and then one of the bands goes up there and says, hey, like, we're Christians, we just want you to know. Some people were like, boo, right? And we're like, hey, like, we understand that. If a church has ever told you this, or this, we believe that's not what Jesus is about. And they talk specifically about tattoos, and we're like, hey, if someone's ever given you, like, they said that you can't come to Jesus because of your tattoos, like, we want to tell you that's wrong. Like, and then they all showed off, like, their 50 tattoos, right? Like, so, like, I think there's value there, because, like, my friends were exposed to the gospel for the very first time, right? And I think that is sort of the way that I think about it, as twofold, of, like, affirming those pieces in that. Does this song do that? I think, okay, so here's the deal. I'm not a 15-year-old in 2010 or whatever, or 2015 when this comes out. Like, when did this song come out? This was released.
I think it was 2010.
Okay. Yeah, like,
oh, no, you're right. 2015. Yeah.
2015. Yeah. This has 45 million views. Oh my God. 45 million views, January 23rd, 2015, right? Like, this song came out then. I was not a 15-year-old. I was a college student at this point. So, like, I did not need this in my life, right? No. I was already relatively secure enough to be like, I don't want that, right? Yeah. So it was just annoying, right? And but like, what about my sister who was 3 years younger? What about my cousins who were like 5-10 years younger? Did this give them that? If it gave them that, I'm willing to give it a pass. Yeah. And I could just be on my old man yells at cloud, like, soapbox and be like, this is horrible. Yeah. But, like, I think there is a space in church where we have to give more grace for that. The only way I want to do this is if we're using it strategically to say, all right, hey, we're trying to reach this group of people. They like this kind of music. Let's test it out and see, does this song get a strong response from our friends and for everybody? And let's open with this, because it's got a high amount of energy. It'll be a fun experience. We can kind of do a dance party. Like, it'll be fun, right? Then, in that limited slice of circumstances, I am like, yes.
as a worship leader, there's this interesting balance between giving the congregation what they want and giving the congregation what they need. And this is like always a tension that you oftentimes feel when you're trying to lead a group, because I realize that there's a lot of congregations that only want to listen to like hymns, and it's not because they actually value the depth of the hymns necessarily. They just hate new things and in general. And that's actually not healthy for them to hate new things just because they're new. And so there are modern songs being written that have the same depth as songs that were written 100 years ago. If you don't think so, that doesn't make any sense. There's more songwriters. There's more humans alive. The whole thing about just thinking about megachurch culture and just the way that church works in the West and even globally, songs like this kind of just give me a little pause, because it's sort of a question of like, is this meeting people where they're at? And I don't have an answer to this. Or is this catering to what they want, but not what they need? I don't know.
The music video makes me think that there was a bunch of like Gen X movie music producers, well-meaning most likely, who are like, let's make a song for the kids. And there's that like thing where Steve Buscemi is, hello, fellow children. It's like, is this really what I am? Like, or is this me? Like, is this what I like? And I'm like, actually, no. You're like, force feeding me. Like, here comes the plane. This is what you millennials like, right? You like you like the hip hop and the EDMs, right? Okay, let's play this song. We'll do our ratings and we'll get out of here. So let's see.
Now I got it.
So broad and wide, we march with hearts of guiding light. In our hands a compass true,
showing us the path to do.
The path to do. Rest your head, let worries fade. In the dawn, adventure waits. With this gift, we'll never stray. Morals guide us every day.
The post-chorus O's, man, slapping. Hey, have you remixed that in 4.5 yet?
No, I have not. I would like to try it.
You've got to. It's so good. It's like freaking me out how good it is.
Okay, but like the difference between what we just listened to with AI and this song is like there's not that much difference. Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah. And like, because it has all of the like the obvious rhymes, rhymes, right? And it has that cursive rhyme thing, and like the O's, and like, oh my god, and it's kind of just as biblical. Like, it's like,
yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. The funny thing is, I feel like AI is more of an I realized something a few weeks ago was that when people freak out about like AI songwriting and all this stuff, I was like, wait a second. Actually, the way that most people write songs is the same way that AI writes songs. They pull random trash out of their stream of consciousness and stick it in a song, but it actually doesn't have that much intent or meaning. They're literally just trying to find cool words that sound cool together and putting them in a song. So there's a vast amount of human-made music that is no better than AI-made music.
You're a musician, you're an artist, I'm an artist in a different way, right? Like, how did I learn to write poetry, right? I learned to write poetry by studying tons of other poets and trying to write poetry just like them, right? Like I read tons of Sylvia Plath and tried to write Sylvia Plath poems. I read Shel Silverstein. I tried to read Shel Silverstein poems. I read Dr. Seuss and tried to write Dr. Seuss. I read Walt Whitman and tried to write Walt Whitman. And then eventually I came up with my unique own style that I write like, right? That is a conglomeration of just all the learning I've done. And it becomes unique because it's a unique combination of 5% Sylvia Plath, 10% Dr. Seuss, 25%, Walt Whitman or whatever. And then you get this thing. But like, I've basically just stolen everybody's art and put it together into a unique combo. And like, when you watch movies, right? Like that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Or like plays.
Formulas. Yeah.
Like, The Lion King is a great movie, independently of the fact that Hamlet is a great play, right? Yeah. But they're the same. They're the same. And Hamlet is based off of Greek tragedies. So like, at a certain level, AI is just doing what we've always done. Now, the danger, of course, is that the money piece of it and like the capitalization, business corporation piece of it is scary. Like, I think that's the true danger is like, cause we're already doing the stealing, right? you're going to do the stealing and then someone's going to make a ton of money off of your ideas. No one's making any money. I'm not making any money off my poetry. So it's like a little different, you know?
I feel like, I mean, we can and probably should do a whole episode just on AI generated Christian worship music. A buddy of mine and I are actually launching a project where we're taking word for word scripture and then making it into like tons of scripture songs using all these different genres. And it's weirdly good. And it's for memorization and for other stuff like that. And so that we have AI's not necessarily writing the lyrics, but it is producing the music of lyrics that are already meaningful. But when I think about just this song from Hillsong Young and Free, the way that it's written, part of the reason why it's hard for me to really like the song is, on one side, like you said, there's an element of it that feels like what I call Christian soup, where somebody isn't intent trying to say, I have something meaningful that God has shown me, and I'm going to communicate it through story and imagery and all this stuff. But it's more like, let me take Christian words and Christian phrases that people know and put them together in a way that is a song. And now I have a Christian song about Christianity. And it doesn't actually, it's very different from, if you find any great worship song, Christian song, or just any song in general, it will almost always have a very clear, like, message or theme or almost thesis that you can grab onto. And with this one, I know it's not the purpose, but there's just not a lot to grab onto.
It's always like, you can always run through the test of like, if you replace the one mention of God here, like the two mentions
with baby
of God here. Yeah, with baby or my love or girlfriend, boyfriend, etc. You're like, yeah, baby, your freedom is an open door. You're everything I want and more. It's like,
that's Frozen, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that song, we finish each other's sandwiches. That's what I was going to say. Love is an open door.
I was going to say. Yeah. Love is an open door, and this song, basically the same thing, is what we're saying. And so, you know, like that's a problem there. Okay. Can this song be used unironically in a non-Christian movie?
Kind of, yes. That's the sad part, is it's so vague that if you did it, no one would know what the heck you're talking about. So they'd be like, yeah, they wouldn't like it, but yes.
Man, I guess you're right. I still think the answer is no, just because I don't think it's a great piece of music. Right?
No,
like I'm trying to imagine like some like random like
TV show.
Yes, TV show or editor being like, yeah, this is the song I want to use. Like, I just don't think
it's not going to happen.
So, I think the floor of quality is too low for that to happen. But I think because of the genre, though, I think that means it has more legs than something else. So yeah, ultimately no. Okay, on a rating, what would you give it?
Just because something's a tight beat doesn't mean it's bad. As far as like production quality, they obviously spent a lot of money on this. It feels good. I think I heard them play this live one time I was at a big event and Hillsong Young and Free was there and they played it. And I think I left, but it felt good. People were jumping around and like it's hard for me to just be like 2, because it's like, it's just mid, dude. It's like a 4 or a 3. It's like a 3 or 4 out of 10 for me. Like it's just like, it's vibes and that's it. There's nothing else.
It's like so much of an affront to my music taste. It's an affront to God. I want to give it a 2.
Okay.
This is like an energy drink called milk. This is like one of the worst things you could drink that's not going to actively kill you, but it's called milk, but it's an energy drink. Like, that's what I would give this for theological depth. How about you?
It feels like kind of off-brand Fanta. It's like
Fanta. Yeah, it's like, you go to like RC Colas or something like that, or you go to your grocery store. They have their grocery store brand.
It's like,
Fanta.
I mean,
my God.
Can you slam some off-brand Fanta? It's like, yeah, I can, but am I gonna want to? No.
We do have a review here
on the Berean test.
On the Berean test, and that's the reason I was laughing a little bit earlier as you were talking, because I was just like, oh my God, like I can't believe this. All right, so Vince Wright says, Hillsong's Young and Free, This Is Living is pretty good. Its message is to proclaim God, who lifts us out of darkness, where he is the most important thing and worth dying for. This glorifies God. Well, the song openers contain a slight error that God makes all dreams come true. Unbelievers should be able to piece together Hillsong's message. If the word all is removed from verse 1 and forever young in your love explained and supported by scripture, I can recommend it for corporate worship. Final score, 9 of 10.
No way! That's crazy! What
Dude,
is life?
The lowest score
That
he
is
gives him in his
crazy.
assessment is 8 out of 10. Okay, how would an outsider interpret the song? 8 out of 10?
Bro's got a soft spot for off-brand Swedish House Mafia. That's what it is.
on one hand, I love this guy because he's doing these reviews. He's faithful about it. He's approaching it from his angle. Like, that's great. On the other hand, I'm like, dude, like, what is it? Like, what kind of music do you like listening to when you're thinking about this? Like, what is like, cause like, and then this is always the thing we talk about. It's like, I don't think this guy, you know, like in The Princess Bride, I do not know, I don't think you know what that word means. You know, like that word.
That word, just, you keep saying that word. I don't think that means what you think it means.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It's like that. I think like when he says outsiders should easily be able to interpret what this means, like, I think his understanding of outsider or people's music lyric comprehension is extremely off. Did you take away the idea, like when we listen to this song, that the theme of this song is, as he puts it, God is freeing us from our former life of darkness. We are living with eyes filled in awe, growing in holiness, cherishing God.
Maybe, and part of it is, let me, just to advocate for the guy, maybe he's thinking hard in context of middle school youth group. Like maybe he's thinking like, is this theologically wrong for a middle school youth group to sing this? And I assume that's the angle that he's coming at it. For one thing, when you ask like, is something theological, that usually means, do I agree with this as a Calvinist? Right. You know, and it's like, I don't really care what Calvinists think about that. Yeah, it's like, I don't really care what the Calvinists think about this song. Like when people are saying like, is this biblical? And if you're a Calvinist, that's great. I think Calvinism is awesome. I have a lot of respect for it. But I just, for some reason, there's like this movement of people saying like, is something biblical? And really what they mean is, does it align with my denominational preference? And so sometimes I think that the way that songs can be assessed can be more from a denominational perspective and not from a perspective of like, is this producing good fruit? For me, I mean, this song's kind of a neutral. I mean, it's like, is it producing good fruit? I mean, it's not doing anything bad. But I just say if my kids went to a youth group, I would love it if they were playing anything else almost. Even if the song had a little bit of heresy in it and they could just walk through that with their relationship with God, but it actually had like some real praise or worship in there, then I'd be even more happy with that. And that's a hot take, because I mean, like, I know that there's a lot of, and by that I don't mean real heresy, I mean like sloppy wet kiss, you know, something a little bit like controversial, just like where some people, is God's love really reckless? It's like, if they're following God, they can figure that out themselves. But I would rather someone be singing reckless love, even if there's a question about that, than singing like the music equivalent of cotton candy. There's a place for cotton candy, but please don't eat it every day.
This song, in the context of like the middle school youth group vibe, it jumps to like 5 or like 4.5. Like, I'd rather you not use it, but yeah. I understand. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're saying like, hey, let's go to this 70-person church, mostly of 60-year-olds, like -5, like horrible, or like 10, because like you should try and get them to embrace this song so they can embrace something new. But even then, I would still say it's like a 6, because like this is not the song I want to have them embrace, right? But it is very contextual nowadays, right? Like, when's the right time to do all this sort of stuff? It's all contextual. There's so much more nuance to it than just one rating.
It's so subjective, isn't it?
It's so subjective, and we're like, oh my god. And like, he likes it, great. And if he wants to use it in this context, we pray that he uses it in the right context, in the right way. Yeah. And of course, right, even if this song as a prophet is Jonah still saved Nineveh because of God's power. Yeah. Right? Do we want to use Jonah as an example for what we should do? No. But it's still, because God is who God is, still worked out for Nineveh. So maybe this song is Jonah, but it's okay.
Yeah.
In that case, maybe it is biblical, because Jonah was biblical, you know?
Do you want this in your church? Follow for more content like this.
Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. If you're interested in more content like this, subscribe and follow to this podcast, and follow us on Instagram at Indigitous US. And send us a DM if you like the pod, have a song suggestion, or give us a like. We'll see you next time.